Tomorrow marks the 20th anniversary of the Oklahoma City bombing. A memorial service will be held on the site of the explosion, which killed 168 people and destroyed the Murrah Federal Building. Channel 2 anchor Bill Biasa covered the bombing 20 years ago and has returned to Oklahoma City to cover tomorrow's memorial service. Bill is joining us there live tonight from Oklahoma City.
Philip, we arrived in Oklahoma City less than 2 hours after the bomb went off 20 years ago. We saw rescue workers risking their own lives to save others, and some of those who rushed in to help came from the Federal Building in Houston.
As hope fades of finding any more survivors, federal agents scour the area, looking for clues, hoping to piece together the evidence that will lead them to the monsters who destroyed so many lives.
20 years later, on the exact spot where the bodies were found, chairs have been placed to symbolize the 168 victims. Among those victims, Paul Ice and Claude Medeiros, U.S. Customs agents whose security was the responsibility of Houstonian Jim Martin.
It was still a war zone. The building had gone down, cars were smashed, parts were lying all over.
Martin had gotten the call at his desk in the Houston Federal Building and rushed here to be with the families of Ice and Medeiros.
How are you? So good to see you.
At the memorial site today, Martin was reunited with Claude's daughter, Catherine. Together, they remembered that dark day 20 years ago.
It was comforting to know that we had people on our side that were looking for my dad and Paul.
The grim and tired look on these men's faces summed up a frustrating overnight search for survivors. Rescuers pulled out only a handful, but 150 to 200 people are still missing in the rubble. It would be several days before Catherine would learn her dad's fate.
In my mind, I'm thinking, oh God, this is going to be a really bad soap opera where he's hit his head and he doesn't remember who he is, and what if he's wandering around?
But he wasn't wandering around. Catherine's dad died that day, and Martin would ultimately be the one to break the news to her. Because of that comfort, Catherine says Martin became a part of her family. And 20 years later, it's hard to tell it was tragedy that brought them together. What's it like for the two of you to get together again 20 years later?
Well, it's just amazing. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you, Kat, and look forward to seeing your mom.
Tomorrow morning's memorial service is as much about reuniting and healing as it is about remembering the horrific event 20 years ago. In fact, Oklahomans have a term for it. They call it the Oklahoma Standard. It's a spirit that says we will not be defeated by anything, not even terrorism. In Oklahoma City, Bill Biasa, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
The Oklahoma Standard. Bill, thank you. And you can see Bill's next live report coming up tomorrow morning during the 8 a.m. hour of Channel 2 News Today.